It's the Joseph Bristol Show.
If you enjoy the video, hit the like. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe.
Welcome to another episode of the Joseph Bristol Show, where I go over different social norms and things about our society and the world that I think need changing and adjusting, or just things that I want to talk about because I have, my own thoughts and ideas on these things. And today we're going to talk about karma, right? Because I had a good discussion with my cousin about karma, and it was really nice. And I want to share my thoughts on karma and how I think it works. So I've always had a different idea of. I'm looking for the recording right now, I've always had a different idea of what I think karma is and how it actually works. Also, let me start the whiteboard because we're going to need that. So let me start up the whiteboard. How karma actually works in, my phone is going off. And, is it recording? Okay, I think it's recording. Perfect. So how karma actually works. And I just always had a different idea on karma, right? Than most people think about it, right? So they think that, you do bad, and so bad things happen to you, or you do, and very few times people ever talk about good karma, that you do good, and so good things happen to you. We mainly focus on you do bad things, you do bad things to people, and bad things will happen to you. It'll come back around. What goes around comes around. But, I never really thought that that's how karma actually works, because you could be a good person and bad things happen to you, right? And you can be a bad person and good things happen to you. And, of course, the sins of the father fall on his son. So all these things matter when it comes to karma. But the sins of the father fall on his son is something that we're going to touch on here with karma. But first, let's jump into the recordings.
Okay, so this idea that people have of karma, I think it's wrong. So the way that karma actually works is vibration, just as the universe itself works off of vibrations. So if you're being a negative person, a bad person, a hurtful person, you're hurting people, you're putting those negativity vibrations out into the universe, right? What happens is when the higher power, the universe, receives these vibrations, it sends them back. Now, if you have continuously been living a life of negativity and consistently hurting people, then yes, you are attracting those very same negative vibrations back to you. But let's say you've been a bad person and you decide that you want to change your life and you're going to be a better person now. You have changed your frequency. You've changed your vibrations. So those negative vibrations, yes, they will still be bouncing back towards you, towards your direction, but they may not necessarily directly hit you. In which case, because you're putting out positive vibrations, it could, not saying that it will, but it could neglect or reflect or dissipate or dampen the negative vibrations that are coming back to you that you released years ago. Because you could be a good person and bad things happen to you. And you can be a bad person and good things happen to you. It's because the vibrations that you're putting out is attracting and giving. It's a push and a pull. Because people always say, bad karma is coming back to you. But they never talk about how the good karma should come back to you as well. So what happened to the good karma?
Right, so this drawing that I just made, this is the negating. This is the negating, like I was saying in the things, right? So you're a person, you're putting out bad vibes into the universe. You're lying, you're cheating, you're stealing, you're treating people bad, you just being a bad person, right? You put that out into the universe. The universe is God. God is the universe, Allah, Yahweh, Yahshua, whatever you want to call it. Yahshua, I believe, is the name of Jesus in the Hebrew Bible. But whatever you want to call God. For now, I'm just going to say the universe, because that's how most people talk about when they talk about karma. So for now, let's just say the universe, but you putting out these negative vibrations into the universe. God receives these negative vibrations, the universe, and then it sends them back out towards you, because we're like antennas. So we're vibrating, we're releasing frequencies. Everything is about frequencies, it's about vibrations. How do we know this? Our atoms, our cells, we might be physical creatures, right? Physical hand. But the reality is my hand is only physical because trillions, billions of little cells are all working together. But those cells are made up of atoms, protons and neutrons and electrons. And these protons, neutrons, electrons, these atoms are literally vibrating. Like they're vibrating at a rapid speed or at a slower speed. And that's what creates the solids in our universe. The liquids, the solids, the malleable matter. You know what I'm saying? All these things is vibrations, frequencies. So you're a person, you're putting out negativity, it bounces off the universe sends those frequencies back to you. But as those frequencies are coming back to you, depending on how fast they come back, because sometimes they come back quickly, sometimes they come back slowly. I don't know, there's no real way for us to figure that part out. But let's say when they're coming back, you've already changed your ways. So you're the same person just later on in life, and now you're releasing positive frequencies, positive things into the universe. Now, this goes into two different things. One, why everybody's going to go to hell, right? So I made a video on that. You can watch that video. I'll link it in the description. But why everybody's going to go to hell. And two, a part of that is God being forgiven. God is ever merciful, ever forgiving, ever graceful. Infinite amount of knowledge he has. Infinite isn't even the proper way to describe God's knowledge and just his love. It's ridiculous. The human brain can't even fathom how loving and forgiving our Creator truly is. So you release these negative things into the universe. You now start giving off this positivity vibration. Yes, that negativity is going to come back to you. But your positive vibrations, I'm not saying it will, but it may negate or, dissipate or like dampen the negativity so it doesn't hit you as hard, as bad. Again, this is just my thoughts on karma and how it works, because God is forgiving. We have to forgive ourselves. We have to forgive others. God will forgive us, right? He's going to forgive us, right? So it's not a forever, oh, you did wrong, you're forever a bad guy, forever. That's like, that isn't the way that our loving Father works. All right, so you release your positivity. It, like I said, it bounces off. And then, of course, remember, you still have the vibrations, right? So let's write this out. The vibrations of your ancestors. Right? So this goes back into generational trauma. This goes into the sins of your father fall on the son. Generational trauma. Right? Generational trauma. That's the same thing as the sins of the father on his son. So those vibrations are coming back. So you're releasing positivity. You're wondering why your life is so stressful, why you can't have a good, healthy relationship, why you're not rich, why everything you do just isn't working, it isn't prospering. It could be because those vibrations from your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, their negative vibrations are being attracted to you because you share similar vibrations as them. You come from them. So your vibrations are very similar to them. You're in the same category. So obviously, you have to put out enough positivity, enough positive vibrations to dampen those negative previous ancestral vibrations from coming back and destroying your life. You have to feel through the generational trauma. You have to break the curse. Okay, let's go into the second one. I can't remember what I said in the second one.
Because still on the karma thing, because not just forgiveness, right? God is ever merciful, ever forgiving, right? In this case, that ties back into the fact that no one is going to stay in hell forever. Everyone will go to hell, and link to the video. But what was it? Accidental karma. I guess that's what I'm gonna call it. I don't even like that. Accidental karma. And then also the apples. Selling poison apples. That also can give off karma. Although the idea is that it should not. It would negate the negativity. But that's not the way karma works. Because let's say you were trying to be nice to somebody, and in your kindness, you end up hurting them, right? Then would you not receive that karma in return, the hurt? Because if the karma is your action, then that's one thing. Now, if the karma is your intention, so let's say you're nice to someone, but you intended on being mean to them, but it turned out in a good way, right? So you turn on the water hose to wet up your neighbor because he's always walking on the grass, but as soon as the water hose come on, your neighbor is on fire, and now you know, all right, and now he's put out. So put out the neighbor's fire, even though you literally just cut on the water hose because you was trying to let him up for the day, but you didn't. You literally saved his life out of your nastiness. Does that mean that your karma is going to be nasty, or you going to get good karma because the ending result of this nasty thing you did was good? Like, karma has to be vibrations.
Right. So the vibrations go into the intention. So what I'm saying is, like I said, let's say you want to be nasty to somebody. Your intention is to be nasty. And so you're like, oh, I'm going to cut on my sprinklers when my neighbor comes outside, and he's going to get all wet, and he's going to be upset that I wet him up. But the man come outside on fire. He's literally on fire, burning alive, and your sprinklers cut on, and it put out the fire. Will you still receive bad karma? Because your intention was to be nasty, but it just so happened that the circumstances made your intentions a good thing, which goes into the phrase, the road to hell was paved on good intentions. The road to hell was paved on good intentions. That means that I'm doing something that I think is good. I intend for this thing to be good. The results will be good. But in fact, I'm doing bad things, like going to war. You're like, oh, America, for example. Oh, we're going to free these people and give them democracy. But in order to do that, we had to kill their leader, murder their men, murder the children, burn down their crops, right? So we're doing all these things that are literally bad because our intention is good. The road to hell was paved on good intentions. So the intention has to matter, because the intention is the vibration. That's the vibration that you're releasing, right? So then the poison apples example. Now this is very important. This is something that I talk to people about all the time, right? The poison apples. What am I talking about? Let's say someone is selling poison apples, right? And it literally says it. Like they have a sign, right? Sign says, poison apples for sale. That's what the sign says. It literally says it. And you come over to the cart, you read the sign, or let's say you didn't read the sign, because most people don't read. So let's say you didn't read the sign. You just see a cart with poison apples, and you're like, hey, can I buy one of those apples? And the person looks at you and they say, yes, $10. And you're like, okay, here you go. Is that suicide? Or is it murder? Is it suicide or is it murder? Right? Because the sign clearly says poison apples. So the person is telling you, oh, I'm a toxic person. I'm a bad, I once knew a girl that literally said to me, I don't want a relationship. You don't want to be with me. I'm a toxic person. I'm toxic. You don't want to be with me. But I liked her. And I wanted to give it a try. Because in my mind, I'm like, I want to be with you. Now, who gets... if the girl hurts me, I can't be mad at her. She literally said, I don't want a relationship. And she literally said to me, I'm toxic. So, one, she's identifying that she's a problem. Two, she's very clearly letting me know she has no intention of changing and doesn't want to change. And three, anything that happens afterwards is my fault. That's on me. That's on me, bro. You don't listen. You ain't hear that girl say she don't want no boyfriend. So if you talking about you claiming her and she got 2 other dudes she messing with, that's on you. Now you sleeping with this girl and you end up burnt. Again, that's on you. She was selling poison apples and you bought them. You bought the poison apples, bro. Is it suicide or is it murder? But the karma that will come to her, will she get karma? Because she literally said, I'm toxic. I'm selling poison apples. So the people who engage with her, is she really going to get bad karma? Like, you know what I mean? Like, karma, see, and this all goes into how I always tell people, life is a serious thing. Like, this stuff is not a, you know, we take these things lightly. We laugh about them. We think, you know, we make shallow statements. What goes around comes around. That's not really how the world works. That's not really how life works. Like, bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people. And every dog has its day and blah, blah, blah. Nah, man, sometimes it don't work like that. And you could see that in almost any spiritual book. It'll say, like, you could be a good person all your life and all that happens to you is badness, like constantly back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Nothing but horrible things is happening to you. And that's because you're receiving the vibration, the negative vibrations from your ancestors. You yourself are a good person putting out positivity, but you getting your ancestors' negative vibrations. You receiving that your whole life. So your reward will come in the next life. In the afterlife is when you will get your positivity and your blessings and your goodness. But all that good vibrations that you put out into the universe, your next of kin will get to receive a good life in this life. Because you put out the positive vibrations, they bounced off the universe, and now all those negative vibrations, all those bad things that are coming from your ancestors is dead. Because you took that on yourself, on your life, so that your next of kin, the next people after you can receive positive vibrations, because that's all that's going to come back to them now in the universe. But the whole idea that, you know what I mean, oh, I'm doing good, I'm going to get good, that ain't no guarantee, bro. That ain't how the world works. That ain't how the universe works. And that ain't how karma works. And again, if somebody's selling poison apples and you buy the poison apples, are they going to get negative karma? I don't think so. I don't think that they will. I don't think the universe will punish them for being honest and saying who they are, because honesty is the best approach to life, right? And so this person was being honest and you decided to engage, and so you got what you was looking for. Just a thought, right? And so I wanted to share my thoughts on karma, and I'd love to hear your idea, your thoughts on karma, you know what I mean? So with that being said, thanks for watching another episode of the Joseph Bristol Show. That's all. Remember, man, we all out here trying to do the same thing. Survive and be happy. And y'all make sure that y'all pray for the dead people, man. Pray that they get forgiven for their sins, because they can't ask God for forgiveness no more. They're dead.